Welcome to another edition of the Player 4 Podcast Midnight Snack.
Hi, I'm Haley, aka Hales, on the Rooster Teeth website.
I am Tristan, aka Shagwazir.
I am Alex, a.k.a. Chaos Black 21.
And I'm Joseph, a.k.a. Jay Dunlap.
So why are we doing this again?
Because I wanted to wear my PJs and do the podcast.
Well, the reason we're doing the Midnight Snack is I have a family emergency that demands my entire attention tomorrow. So we're recording this once again, almost at midnight on Wednesday night.
So once again, it's Joe that's making us do this.
No,
it's
the fact that I'm the only one who has the capability of recording the podcast.
It's true. Let's come on. What would we do without you, Joseph?
Hey, I got to get my licks in on Joe somehow.
It's true.
He's daddy.
That's really creepy.
Don't lick Joseph.
Ah.
Oh.
Joseph is dad status.
No. That just makes it worse.
He has dad things to do.
That actually does make it worse. Anyway.
Oh.
No, I thought we were going to start off with and another thing.
Oh,
A
yeah.
fluffy thing.
And a fluffy thing.
I don't really know.
And another thing.
And another thing.
Last week's Midnight Snack was awesome. It was delicious.
Tristan, you said something that bothered me last week.
Uh-oh. What did I say that bothered you?
You said falsetto to mean false.
I think he was joking.
I think I called a product a falsetto product.
Yes.
Falsetto
That's
means
not what falsetto means.
a high music.
It means high pitched. It's when you sing in a thin, high voice, and it's typically how guys try to sing like girls. And little known music fact, you know you're singing in falsetto if you can't get louder or softer.
Oh.
Yep, I do that all the time.
But
All the time now?
in ordinary singing voices for guys and girls, the higher range, the normal high range, is known as the head voice. Just so you know.
And yes,
I believe I have been and another thinged.
You have.
That's very
Knowledge
funny that
drop.
it's so funny that you mention all these terms because I know them because I was in a voice and articulation class, which it's all about like learning to use your voice.
I was just on choir tour, so I've got music on the brain.
It's true.
How
You
did
play
it
the
go?
piano.
How did it go?
It was good, and because I was a supplementary accompanist, there were times where I just had like the afternoon off, pretty much. So it was a free vacation, and I wasn't the main accompanist, so sometimes it was like, and you don't need to be there.
So they actually found places for you to live then?
It wasn't a big issue. They paired me up. The living conditions was host homes and a hotel room because it was only 3 nights. Yeah, 3 nights. And they paired me up with a guy who's going to be getting a master's degree with the same professor that I studied with for my master's degree, another composer. So we had a lot to talk about. And then we had one host home where it was actually 2 groups of us, plus the choir director, because it was a really big house with like a home theater.
Mm-hmm.
And then another time we were grouped with another group of 2 guys in a hotel room. So, I mean, it wasn't that difficult to work me in. I just got paired with a student, that's all. It wasn't a big deal. I mean, he's about to be studying with the same professor I studied with.
Did you instill red versus blue with any of these people?
I think Rooster Teeth came up in conversation at some point or another.
Do they watch our podcast? Because if they don't, they're not cool.
Our podcast?
What'd I say? What?
Our podcast?
I heard
Podcast.
podcast.
It's like a bouse.
Like a mouse. I'm
Alex-
pretty sure at least a handful of students know about it. I'm not sure how many have time to listen to it. Shall we get to the meat of the episode?
What is the meat? I like meat. Is it steak?
Ooh, I had some Buffalo Wild
See,
Wings
meat?
yesterday.
Oh,
Buffalo Wild Wings. Is
No,
good
did
too.
Some dry rub ribs.
Oh, no. No. Best wings I've ever had there were the Parmesan garlic. And I had them for the first time last night. Best.
Best
I
status.
like my classic spicy. Alex, are you trying to bring the meet and greet here? Are you going to try and sell us all dry rub?
I mean, if I can, sure.
Wait, Tristan, if me and you end up in Austin together, we're going to eat wings. A lot.
Oh, yeah, we're going to eat wings.
You're also
I
going to
like
need a
how
lot
I
of dry
said-
rub.
I like how I said the meat of the episode, and we immediately started talking about meat
Well, that's your fault.
It's
and
your
the meet
fault.
and great.
Yeah.
Well, we've
No,
already
I-
greeted.
If we were to do titles for episodes, this episode would be called Trailers,
Trailer.
Oh, I was gonna
because
say
this was a week for trailers,
it was.
or last week, really.
Okay,
Not
so
sure how to
trailers.
react.
Do you
Yes,
like
trailers.
that?
There were 4 big trailers that came out this past week. Am I right?
Sell them to me.
There was Star Wars,
Jurassic
Oh, yeah.
Park,
Jurassic
did watch
World,
that.
Jurassic World. Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 3, and Superman vs. Batman.
Did they give that one a number? I
They
kept
did
looking at
not.
all the
It's
advertising.
they're just calling it Star Wars Battlefront.
right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's why it was confusing me, because I'm like, I'm certain that there were at least 2 other Battlefronts.
I keep hearing it called 3.
I think that's because the last one was called 2, but this one is just Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
Yeah, common sense would dictate.
Would.
Well,
Common sense goes right out the window when you talk about business and, marketing.
I guess. Depends on what kind of common sense we're talking about.
But I think they're just trying to start fresh. I mean, who knows? It could end up being Star Wars Battlefront 3 because Halo 5 wasn't called Halo 5 in the beginning. They just said it's going to be called Halo.
Baby,
That
let me
would've been
see your
confusing.
halo.
I thought they referred to it as Halo Guardians.
Well, they never put a 5 on it until now here closer. Just recently, they started calling it Halo 5.
Isn't Guardians the,
And then everyone was
Multiplayer?
surprised. I don't know.
What?
Guardians, isn't Guardians the multiplayer for Halo 5?
I think it's in general just called Halo 5 Guardians.
Oh,
I think
is it?
I think that's the whole game. It's called
Hey,
Halo
if you
5
guys
Guardians.
want to talk about name changes, talk about Final Fantasy 15. That's gone under like 8, not only 8 like style changes, but like 10 billion different name changes. I won't even believe that game's out until it's in my freaking hand.
Well, by the time Half-Life 3 comes out, they're probably just going to call it Half-Life again.
Half-Life 3 confirmed. So was your excitement increased or decreased with the appearance of Harrison Ford at the end of the Star Wars trailer?
Hello.
It wasn't a surprise. I
No,
knew he's going to
it
be in the
wasn't.
movie.
But I mean,
So-
to see how they've done him up, to see how much older he looks.
I think it's amazing because I love Harrison Ford.
My thought on it is he is older. I'm not sure why people say that as some sort of insult or revelation that someone looks older. And I knew he was going to be in the movie. So yeah, it was cool to see him at the end of the trailer. Just as kind of a reminder, yes, he's going to be in the movie. And I guess also just to get a glimpse of Han Solo again. But I didn't go nuts over it like a lot of people did.
Is Princess Leia going to be in the movie?
They're all going to be in it. All 3 of them.
Oh, really? They even got Mark Hamill?
Yes, because Mark Hamill grew a beard. I'm serious. Like, put a picture up of Mark Hamill in a beard because he grew it.
All right, I'll find a picture of Mark Hamill in a beard.
But in the trailer, you see Mark Hamill's hand giving a lightsaber to Carrie Fisher's hand. He says,
so-
"The Force is with my father, with me, with my son, and with my sister," and he hands her a lightsaber.
I'm so
Dun, dun,
excited.
dun.
Now, I haven't
Overall.
read too much about this movie, or I haven't researched it too much, so I don't know what information is out there. But do you know if it's going to be following what's widely accepted in the expanded universe, or if it's doing its own thing?
It has been announced that they're not going with the expanded universe. Although, I mean, how many other storylines could you have about Luke and Leia except that their kids are Force sensitive and that their kids are fighting? So it may end up being similar, although not as awesome. Because I mean,
I just wonder why they wouldn't tap into. There's that huge reserve of creativity in the expanded universe from all these different authors. Why wouldn't? Do you think it's just for like licensing issues or something?
what they said was they had a story that they wanted to tell that was completely original, and they didn't want to be bound to the extended universe. And I think part of that is expanded universe. Extended is Marvel, the other Disney property.
Yeah, no, the Disney owns everything.
The
So
difficulty in making the movie is, up till now, the stories have been entirely original because there was no expanded universe for that. I mean, when the prequels came out, there was no expanded universe for that time period until they made the movies for that time period, and then we got novels about that time period.
Right.
What had been explored before that was the time period of the rebellion and the Empire. And a little side note, as a role player, you may know this, Tristan, or you may not, that the expanded universe started with the original Star Wars role-playing game.
Yes, I had heard that.
That George Lucas would send those materials, because they were world-building materials, to the writers before they wrote the novels of whatever novels they were writing. But then the prequels came out, and then they started writing novels about that time period. Then they had the Knights of the Old Republic timeline, and then books were written about that timeline, and the books would always come second. And the problem with what they're doing is they're writing movies, a new trilogy, about a time period that has already been explored in the novels, because up till now it's only been associated as, this is what happened after Episode 6. But now we're exploring what happens after Episode 6, and they don't want to make a book adaptation. Does that make sense? I mean, up till now the movies have not been book adaptations,
Yes.
and they didn't want this movie to be a book adaptation. They didn't want to be held up to any standard except their own standard. There's two sides to it. On one hand, we have the Thrawn trilogy from like the 90s, and people were really attached to it. And on the other hand, they want to tell their own story, and I can see both sides of it, although I really feel bad for the people that really like the expanded universe and are going to see it just chucked out the window.
Yeah. I mean, that's because the expanded universe is the first thing I think of, but I can appreciate what you're saying about wanting to continue the trend of making movies that don't have a book basis.
I kind of feel like the only reason that they're doing an Episode 7 as opposed to anything else is, first off, a lack of creativity. They think, Star Wars movie, they think, oh, well, it has to be Episode 7. And also that it would sell because it has Han Solo and it has Luke and Leia and all these familiar elements, Chewbacca and R2 and 3PO, when really there's a wealth of stories that they could be doing, such as, and this is my ideal, something I would love to see in my lifetime, in addition to Joss Whedon doing the Han Solo spinoff, which would be awesome because of Firefly. What I want to see is Christopher Nolan doing a Darth Revan trilogy.
Darth Revan. Yes. Now that could be fun.
It would be amazing, because he's basically space Batman. He has the whole arc of becoming evil and then turning sort of neutral, and he wants to get revenge on the Emperor. And I would love to see that on screen.
Now, the last time we saw him was KOTOR, wasn't it?
Yes. Isn't that where you find out that you are Revan?
That was, I believe, the end of KOTOR 2 that you find that out.
And then I know about Revan because in Star Wars The Old Republic that I used to raid with the drunk tanks in, they're called dungeons in almost every game, but they were called, what were they called? Operations, or Ops was the raids, and then the dungeons were called flashpoints. And there was one flashpoint where Revan was the antagonist, and it's an Empire flashpoint. And he is in this spaceship, and you're infiltrating the spaceship, and you take down his assassin droid as one of the boss fights. And then at the very end, you fight Revan, and then right as he's defeated, he escapes. And so that's when I first heard about Darth Revan. And then my wife has read at least one novel about Darth Revan. But yeah, Star Wars. That was Star Wars. Anything else anyone wanted to say about Star Wars?
I saw a video yesterday where they showed off BB-8, which is the new robot for the movies, kind of like R2-D2.
It's like, they see me rolling, they hating.
Yeah, like it. Supposedly, Disney is trying to move away from what they did in the first, or the episodes 1 through 3 with all like the CG robots, and they're trying to actually make real robots. So they brought it out and actually showed kind of like how the head has a ball underneath it, and then obviously the body has a ball, and so the balls have to kind of work together, like roll in opposite directions for it to stay together.
No, Joe.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, don't worry. I knew instantly when I said it.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. I loved Jurassic Park.
I think we all did.
That's definitely like, you know,
How can you not like Jurassic Park?
there are people I know who don't like it.
It's dinosaurs.
There are people who just don't care about dinosaurs. I'm sorry. I love Jurassic Park. The Lost World was all right. It wasn't. It didn't have the same magic as the first one, but I thought they did a great job.
I think it was good until when they brought the dinosaurs to the city.
Yeah, that was a bit tough.
It's hard to keep that stuff under wraps.
But I mean, you know, that certainly added. I haven't read it yet, but I have The Lost World on my bookshelf behind me. The third one was the one where I just went, what are you guys doing?
So the second and third were just money grabs, of course.
I enjoyed the third one.
I did too.
Well, the Lost World is one of Crichton's books, so that movie was still.
You know what book I would love for them to actually get right of Crichton's? Timeline. One of my favorite books. They messed up the movie big time.
The movie made no sense to me.
I remember when I saw
has given a lot of thought to time travel.
Did you read the actual book?
No, I didn't know it was a book.
Oh my god, read it. It's amazing. Amazing. I had to read it for school, actually, and I read it in a day. It's so thick, but I couldn't put it down.
I'm sorry, Tristan, what?
I was just saying that I saw the film after my dad read the book and found out that there was a film coming out, so we had to go see it because he had loved the book.
It was awful. Like, it was nothing like the book. I was like, wow, this is awful. Because I liked the book. I didn't see the movie, you know, to replace the book. I wanted to see that because, like, the book was so amazing. And I was just so disappointed. I was like, why?
There's something regarding timeline that's really funny to me because nowadays everyone knows who Gerard Butler is.
Yeah.
I mean, freaking 300. He's also Stoic the Vast, and before that, he was in Phantom of the Opera.
He's hot.
And when Phantom of the Opera first came out, the movie that is, not the longest running show on Broadway, I was like, who's the Phantom? Gerard Butler? Who is this guy? And the only thing anyone could say about him was he was Dracula, and he was in Timeline 2.
There's
the
a
second
sequel?
one?
That's, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Let me research myself real quick.
Time Traveler's Wife.
P.S. I Love You?
You've Got Mail?
No, P.S. I Love You
The
is
Notebook?
actually no, P.S. I Love You is actually a movie that he was in where he's dead technically, but he takes his wife on this like trip and she's like revisiting their memories.
That's sad. 300 was the first time I remember knowing the name Gerard Butler.
I love Gerard Butler.
Me too.
So
About
sexy.
the 300.
Oh. Alex likes Gerard Butler. He likes his abs.
There were a lot of great
if I
abs
had
in
a
that
guy,
film.
if I had a guy list, he would probably be on it.
I have a guy list. Where's yours?
Who's your man crush?
My man crush?
My Ryan Reynolds.
It's a good man crush.
Mine's Nathan Fillion.
I know that name, but I can't think of the face.
Al Reynolds from Firefly.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
Oh,
Hold
my
on.
goodness.
He's also
Okay,
Castle.
we are not friends.
He's also
until you watch
Castle.
Firefly.
I'm sorry.
I was being harsh, but seriously, watch Firefly.
Do
It's-
watch Firefly.
I just
Jurassic
don't have
World.
Oh yeah, about that.
Anyway,
Oh,
I was
Jurassic
wrong.
World.
It was just Timeline. Gerard Butler is listed third on Timeline in IMDb.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that movie. I'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah,
There's apparently not the time traveler in Timeline.
let's get a picture up of him in Timeline, please.
Oh, God.
I'm going to put it side
because
by side
he
with a
does
picture
not
of him in 300.
Yeah, because he doesn't look like himself. He's really young in Timeline. In Timeline, it was like 2003 when that came out, and that and Dracula 2000 was the only thing anyone knew him for really before 300, and now he's Leonidas, and then he is Stoic for anyone who likes How to Train Your Dragon, and by that I mean anyone who watched How to Train Your Dragon. So, what other trailers? Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront.
Sorry, Jurassic World.
No,
I some love.
You got tangented.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to say about Jurassic World is Chris Pratt and Velociraptors.
I'm still skeptical about that. I don't think that Velociraptors should be trained.
You can be skeptical all you
They've
want, but it's going to
been-
be awesome.
They've been doing a lot of weird things with the like the third one just killed it when it came to the Velociraptors and the what was it, the egg and the bone whistle something, I don't even remember. It was bad.
Can there be many more awesome images than Chris Pratt on a motorcycle with 3 Velociraptors behind him?
I know, but
what about the Velociraptor shooting a rocket launcher while riding on the back of a shark?
Okay, that's a different kind of awesome. That's like Sharknado kind of awesome.
Yeah, because that's
it's like horrible sci-fi original movie kind of awesome. Get some friends together and have like chips and dip and make fun of a horrible movie kind of awesome.
Dante's Peak.
What? No.
Dante's Peak is what I was going for.
You ever played Shadowrun? I think you've played Shadowrun.
Which one? Are you talking about the Xbox game?
No, I mean the role-playing game.
Yes, I GM it all the time.
You ever go to Dante's Inferno?
The bar?
Yeah.
I actually haven't written that one into my story yet.
Yeah, my group went there a lot as a meeting place with like clients.
My group uses a discotheque that I made up called Penumbra, so it's
you know what I
just
discovered this week?
Huh?
If you say disco dance over and over, it sounds like a disco. Disco dance, disco dance, disco dance.
Boots and cats and boots and cats.
no, it's boots and pants, boots and pants, and boots and pants.
I know, but I like cats because the C gets you the better.
like Puss in Boots kind of thing.
Sure.
Alex, do I have permission to move on from Jurassic World now?
Yeah, because you actually brought up.
Will I be in trouble?
You helped me bring up the fact that I was skeptical about it. I'm excited, but there's just I'm still skeptical.
I think it's going to be at the very least entertaining and exciting and fun, even if there's not any substance to it.
I will agree with that.
And I'm going to watch it because Chris Pratt is in it.
Well, I'm going to watch it because it's a Jurassic Park movie.
Freaking dinosaurs, man.
Exactly. I love Jurassic Park movies, and Chris Pratt is just a good-looking man and funny as heck.
Yeah, he's both those things.
I enjoyed Pete Postlethwaite in the second movie. He was the big game hunter.
Clever girl?
No, that's the first movie.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to say it.
Oh,
Shoot
yes. Everybody likes him.
That makes me think of Haley's dinosaur hat.
I love my dinosaur hat. I'm not really sure where it is now, but
who was it? Was it Pedro who said "clever girl"?
No. What?
Pretty sure it was Pedro.
Pedro in the movie, or are we talking about in real life?
No, I'm talking about the guy on the site who likes our podcast and listens to it. We love him very much.
Andres.
Shout out.
Well, he has. It's like Pedro Andres.
Okay, I was right. His first name is Pedro.
Wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's just he goes by Andres.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
So shout out to Andres.
Yes.
Andres.
So don't cut that because I want to prove that I do know his first name is Pedro.
Okay, Star Wars Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh my god, I've been waiting for this so long.
The fact that it's technically Battlefront 3, but they haven't called it that yet.
I didn't play either of the first two, so I guess it's okay with me.
I have the second one, and I'm really tempted to bust out my PS2 to start playing it again.
Wait, which one?
Battlefront 2.
Oh.
What about the trailer excites you the most, Alex?
It was pretty much all cinematics, so we haven't gotten to see gameplay yet, but if the gameplay visuals are similar to the cinematics, then holy crap, I'm excited, because that is very beautiful.
I heard that it's going to look amazing. Like, I was some students on Choir Tour were talking about it and saying that it's going to look absolutely amazing on the PS4.
And I'm excited to see, like, because they kind of did it in the second one where there were space battles but they didn't really have it to where you could have like dog fights up above the battlefield, like on a world map. So I'm hoping that kind of comes into play too, where you can have people fighting up in the sky, but also down below on the battlefield.
You know what game was famous for having that functionality? Battlefield 2. That was a really long time ago.
Dated.
Yeah.
Hey, why not?
I was just laughing that it's kind of funny that they didn't have that capability when a game that came out even before that one did.
That does tend to happen, doesn't it?
They
A
just
game
kind of miss the technology.
yeah,
They're
a
like,
game
whoops.
just kind of being ahead of its time, and people don't catch on. Oh, we should do that too. Anything else about Battlefront 3?
I like Star Wars.
I like Star Wars too.
I like
And
turtles.
one day we're going to have a deeper conversation about Star Wars, but when we have more time and we're not all tired.
And we all are able to watch all 6 movies at once.
I'm
But it's
wearing penguin pants.
Are you
Don't
gonna
rip
rip
them.
these?
I'm wearing no pants.
Oh God! Why? Why would you tell us that?
I thought we were all saying what pants we were wearing.
I thought it was because Alex said earlier that pants time comes before nap time.
Which was wrong.
Pants time. Okay, no pants time comes before nap time.
Yeah.
I assumed pants time meant no pants time, like the
Well,
pantsing game.
That's what
when
I
you
thought
do the
too.
pantsing game, you don't put pants on someone. That's the weirdest game ever.
It would be probably a less embarrassing game though.
It would be a weird game because
Different
no.
kind of game.
you'd have to say, "Hold on, lift your right leg." Okay, no, lift your left leg. No, don't point your toes because I do that with my kids. And then like, okay, now stand up and pull it up like you're dressing a toddler, and then say, "Now button it." Now zip. Okay, you've got pantsed.
I just imagine a cutaway and suddenly they have pants on.
You know what? We should make a short sometime where we're just going around pantsing people. But like,
How
it's
did I get these
cutaway,
pants on?
And then they're wearing
Pretty sure
pants.
people would be pissed.
No, like it would be scripted
Oh,
and
okay.
and like on purpose. Like we'd be cutting away and then cutting back, and the person would be wearing pants, and they're like, "Whoa, how'd you do that?" So if we end up doing that, I can look back to this video and say, "I had a good idea once."
Podcast, 150 when we somehow end up getting video.
With
One
video
thing led to
capability.
another.
That would actually be fun if we shot like a short 2 minute or 1 minute short, like for every episode. If we were in a video format, that'd be really fun.
Get it 1 minute short because we're gonna pants them in their shorts. I'm tired. Shut up.
Okay, Batman versus Superman.
Okay, Batman versus Superman is what I was going to say too.
Batman
Because I'm
versus-
Batman. It was
Yes.
a really awesome trailer. Who saw the trailer?
I've seen the trailer.
Okay. It gave us a concise idea of what to expect in the storyline, why it's Batman versus Superman, because the same reason that Lex Luthor was always opposed to Superman is why are we leaving this power unchecked? Why is he above the law? Why is that okay? And I kind of thought that was a cool idea to go towards.
Yes.
But they're also calling it Dawn of Justice, so I'm sure the resolution will at some point involve the Justice League, or at least heading that direction. So I wonder if we're going to see a villain that they haven't revealed yet.
I'm not sure. Oh, I'm sure we're gonna end up having a villain. I think Batman. I think at least the first part, Batman's going to come in, and he's essentially going to make sure, because Superman is kind of becoming a god essentially in people's eyes. So Batman wants to make sure that, hey, if he gets a little full of himself, we have to make sure that there's a way we could take him down. And
I really liked the Batman suit that they went with this time. And I argued in a conversation this week that it was just a different interpretation of the Dark Knight suit. But someone else said, well, maybe it's a Carbonite suit. And then I saw that his eyes were lit up, and so I said, well, maybe it's a suit that has a HUD. So we'll see, I guess.
But then I think the second part, a villain's going to come in, and they're going to end up working together, and them taking down the villain will essentially be the start of the Justice League.
Can we finally have Lex Luthor on screen again?
Yes.
Please.
I also think Wonder Woman is going to make a cameo, and someone else. So
Oh yeah,
definitely.
the Amazonian outfit thing.
So yeah, Justice League. That will be the start of the Justice League.
I kind of see the plot arc of this movie being a lot like Age of Ultron, for one reason, which is it starts off where the protagonists are at odds with each other, and then finally they have to team up against a bigger villain. Because I'm seeing Age of Ultron having an arc where something happens that causes them all to fight each other. Then they're having to deal with Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch, and they're all fighting each other, and maybe those two are being manipulated by Ultron. And then they finally realize Ultron's the real threat, and by that point it's almost too late. Maybe that's the storyline.
Avengers was kind of like that.
There was
to a lesser
moment
extent.
where they were
all
yeah.
at odds, and they had to learn to work together. And it took several, big, impactful events for them to finally get their heads on straight and start actually working together.
The only other thing I can see is a situation where the group splits into two factions, which would make sense considering Civil War is not too far off now. And that would explain Iron Man and the Hulk fighting. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like Iron Man and Thor fighting in the forest in the original Avengers, which was, hey, look, fans, it's Thor versus Iron Man. It was like a 2-minute fight or whatever. I think this time there may actually be a bigger reason for example, Hulkbuster versus Hulk and that kind of thing. And didn't we see something about Captain America versus Thor, or am I imagining things? But either way, I think maybe there's going to be a faction split in the movie. So, yeah. Any other input on that?
I really enjoyed the storyline for the movie Justice League Doom, which kind of had that same Batman versus Superman, only it was kind of, it showed how, Batman was keeping tabs and making sure to keep everyone in the Justice League in check and have a plan for if any of them went rogue.
I remember hearing about that. That was really cool.
It was a really good movie. I've watched it a few times.
So, we have a game we can play if everyone is ready for that.
Another game.
No, I'm kidding. I don't hate games.
No, it's a game that I thought we might try out because on Twitter, there's always some sort of game that happens on hashtags that is usually very witty, really fun to play, and very subtle at times, and you have to figure it out. And I figured that we could have a thing on the podcast from time to time whenever there's something funny happened on a Twitter called the Twitter Games. Like the Hunger Games, only it's the Twitter Games. So,
I see what you did there.
Yeah, what I'll do is occasionally I'll include you guys in something that trended on Twitter in the past week, and then we'll kind of participate in the game and see if we can guess what the tweets that I read to you are alluding to. And it's hard to explain until we really get into it, but a lot of the games involve subtly referring to something, a movie or a song or something like that, but you don't say what it is, and then the people reading it have to figure out what it is. So the one we'll do this time is Spock questions song lyrics.
Do we buzz in, or...?
No, I mean, you can just, if you have a guess, then just say it. Then the idea behind hashtag Spock questions song lyrics is to pretend like he's already listened to the song, and then this is a comment that he might make to Kirk about the song, what doesn't make sense about it. So you're not really quoting the song, but you're alluding to the words of the song. So what I did when I saw 3 tweets that I thought were exceptional, and then I retweeted them, and then I made 4 of my own, one of which actually got some attention. And the first one I saw was, based on this planet's climate, it is highly unlikely that there will ever be purple precipitation.
Purple rain.
Purple rain.
I just thought it was clever. Next one. Fascinating, for were you ever to obtain Jesse's girl, paradoxically, Jesse's girl where she would no longer be. Yeah, that one's easy, but I thought it was funny. Paradoxically, Jesse's girl, she would no longer be. Here's how about if Jesus predated cars by 2 millennium and he would not know how to drive.
Jesus takes the wheel?
Yeah. And then these are the ones I did. I fail to see why a snake would ever eat bread. The concept itself is illogical as snakes are carnivorous.
I have no idea.
My anaconda don't.
Don't want. Yeah.
Unless you got buns, hun.
All right, that
God.
one took some actual thinking.
Yeah, it was bad. Next one. Water is an effective, albeit primitive, tool to put out a fire. To cause precipitation to burn
fire.
is
No.
illogical.
No, I set fire to the rain.
Yes, precipitation. If he woke up late enough to miss the bus, it is doubtful he would arrive at school in time to hear the bell.
What?
I woke up in the morning.
Oh, Friday?
The alarm came
Feeling
off
like
the
P.
warning.
Diddy.
Thought I'd never make it on time. Come on, say by the bell.
I was gonna say
You
Saved
know what's
by the
funny
Bell,
is
but I was
that
like,
I've never watched that show, but Saved by the Bell was the first thing that came to my mind
yeah,
when you said
me
it.
too.
Come on, go with your instinct. And this is the one that actually got some like favorites in a retweet. The technology of late 20th century Earth did not include video mediums that were capable of murder.
Video killed the radio star.
Yes,
Damn. Get
you're on
it.
fire, Alex.
It kind of helps that I did see your tweets when you tweeted them.
So you've had time to
He's
think
cheating.
about it.
He's cheating.
I did have time to think about them. The only one I never, well, I didn't get Saved by the Bell, but I thought of Saved by the Bell, but I never knew the song. But I didn't get the Anaconda Don't.
Here's one more I didn't see that I'd done, and this one I actually tagged Jack Patillo in it. When encountering two canines undergoing intercourse, the identities of their human masters is irrelevant.
Who let the dogs out?
No.
Ah,
Whose dogs are having sex? Sex dogs. Obscure Rooster Teeth reference.
That was one of the funniest shows.
I loved the comic that they put up.
We
That
need
Luke
to
McKay
make
drew.
Bernie the focus.
Oh, Bernie's the focus. Okay,
Okay. He's crying in this one.
he's really hard to work with. Anyway, I remember the comic that Luke McKay drew after that short came out, where Jack kept listening to the song, and I think it was Gus said, "This is the first time you were funny, isn't it?" And he's like, "Yeah," since he was the one that did the song. Yeah, they called Jack into the sound booth and said, "You have a deep voice. Give us some sort of song that's like Who Let the Dogs Out," and then they just kind of made it up on the spot.
so I was partially right that it originated from Who Let the Dogs Out.
Yeah. I mean, how many songs are about dogs anyway? And some people even tried to do Who Let the Dogs Out, but none of them were really that subtle. So that was Spot Question song lyrics.
Part of the Twitter games.
Yes, and I look forward to finding some more for us to play.
Alex is the first winner of the Twitter games.
Yes.
Alex, you were the winner.
I was the
Ridiculous
tribute that
tribute.
won the Twitter games.
You're a twit.
You didn't have to volunteer.
No, we got nominated anyways.
Yes. Tristan,
Yes.
is it that time?
Is it that time? The time to wrap up? The time to go to sleep?
Yeah, those times.
Okay.
Nap time.
Nap time. Nap time comes after pants time, but after pants off time as well.
Yeah.
Wait.
Pants off to our audience.
Pants off to our audience. Thank you for being an awesome audience, and we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Midnight Snack featuring the Player 4 podcast. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody. I think I might have accidentally fallen asleep.